Hey guys, hello. Welcome to lesson 1 in reading for our first week in virtual learning within It's Learning. I know you keep seeing my face, but I do miss seeing all of your faces. This first video is going to be pretty short. I'm just going to read you one of my favorite poems by Robert Frost, The Road Not Taken. And then I'm going to kind of explain to you why it's one of my favorite poems and how I'm connected to it. And then I'm going to explain your homework, which is the activity that you'll do on your own. Okay? All right, The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that passing through, had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, some more ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. So I read this, I want to say in college, or either right after college maybe. And my phrase my dad has always said is, take the road less traveled, which a lot of people say that. He didn't make up the saying, but take the road less traveled. And it always just hit me with, like, what path do I need to take in life? And do I always need to go with what everybody else is doing and maybe the easier path, or do I need to forge my own path in the path that maybe isn't even paved yet? And Robert Frost also would write in a way that I really had a hard time understanding at first, because I wasn't really exposed to poetry all that often. And if I was exposed to poetry, it was maybe in a very surface level way. So he would really make me think about these pieces of life that I hadn't figured out yet, or that bothered me, or that I hadn't even thought of yet. That was a big piece of why I always kind of go back to that poem, especially when life gets hard and you just want to take the easy way out, and when you have more experience and you get more perspective, and it kind of would help me understand that sometimes the hard way gets you to the place you're supposed to be. That's maybe a little bit more rewarding, or maybe the lesson is learned a little harder, but you're still learning it. So that's my piece. Again, when you read it out loud and to yourself, sometimes it's really hard to understand what the message is, and how it's written can be really hard to grasp at first if you're not used to it. So just keep that in mind. If you're like, I have no idea why I should pick this, and I have no idea really what it means, that's totally okay. Absolutely. So that's the first piece of this lesson. The next piece is, when you are in It's Learning, which you are now, obviously, you're going to go, you'll keep clicking through to the resources to a Google form. Let me make sure I'm explaining this correctly. So in this Google form, again, if you just keep clicking through, I already linked it to this lesson, so you should see it. You should see it, but sometimes Miss Lodgner doesn't always link things that she's supposed to link. Let's just be honest. Okay, let me go to, I'm sorry guys. Okay, so the next thing, so within this Google Doc, you're going to read each poetry related word within the Google Doc. So this is what you'll see. Think about how well you know the word and how that word relates to poetry. Then fill in the circle next to the choice that represents your understanding. So again, some of you have been really exposed to poetry and some of you haven't. That's okay. This isn't like a right or wrong test. It's just to see it's just to kind of tell me what you already know and don't know about poetry. Okay, so doing it's kind of just a completion, but I'm going to be able to tell if you're just swiping through and just clicking and not really answering, and maybe answering in silly ways. So I need you to try your hardest on it and actually put forth effort, and then I'll give you feedback on that. If you're kind of being silly, not taking it seriously, then we'll have to have a conversation, but I don't think we'll have to do that. And feel free to go online or look around your house if you can find poetry books or books on poetry. Or, I mean, there's millions and billions of poems out there. So if you ever just want to look up a poem on any topic at all, they're out there. As long as they're school appropriate, please. Okay? All right. So thank you for watching the video. I miss you. If you have any issues with its learning, please email me ASAP, call or text me. Okay? Because sometimes things don't upload like they're supposed to, and I'm still getting used to the system. So do not get overly frustrated before steam comes out of your ears. Please call me or text me or email me. Okay? All right. Poetry unit. Keep it rolling.